Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Alan Watts. And today's meditation is a mind exercise, a brain exercise in focus. How can we improve focus through meditation? Well, meditation in and of itself improves focus, but today's exercise is even a little bit more deliberate about improving focus during today's meditation. The thought from Alan Watts that gets us there is, this is the real secret of life. To be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. To be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. Leshna, good morning. Sunmari, good morning. Awesome seeing you there. So, to create the picture of at least a part of how our brain works and how we often get tripped up in this thought to be completely engaged with what we're doing now. There's a part of our brain, and actually it's a couple of brain regions working together, called the default mode network. That default mode network is a part of our brain that normally becomes more active when we're not engaged in focused work. As an example, if you go to the office and you work all day at the office, your brain should be focused, and then when you go home and you don't have task-oriented thoughts, then your brain switches into the default mode network. That is not always how it works, but that is as an example of how it's kind of designed to work. Leanne, a very good morning. Good to see you. It is such a beautiful rainy morning. I was surprised when I got outside this morning. Anyways, default mode network is also the part of your brain where things like rumination happen. And the term rumination tends to mean negative thinking, dwelling on negative thoughts. That happens inside of that default mode network. Pat, a very good morning. Awesome seeing you. So over time, as a person grows older, it tends to be that default mode network becomes more and more active. In other words, even when we're doing task-oriented things and our brain should be focused, we can be hijacked by that default mode network into rumination. And lots of studies on meditation has found that the more you meditate, the less activity there is in that default mode network, the less captured we are by rumination on something negative. And also, for the regular meditators, it seems that they are more able to catch themselves when their brain is in that ruminating space, turning over negative thoughts, more able to catch that happening and take a step backwards out of that. I'll just read you this quick quote here. Studies have shown that over time, regular meditators have reduced activity in their default mode network and get stuck in negative mind loops for shorter periods of time. So one more thought from Alan Watts that leads us into today's meditation on focus. He says, if you can concentrate the mind for 2 seconds, then you can do it for 2 minutes, and you can do it for 2 hours. Of course, if you want to make this kind of thing horribly difficult, then begin to think about whether you're concentrating or not, or how long you've been concentrating for, or if you'll be able to keep it up. But that is totally off the point. Concentrate for 1 second. Just concentrate for 1 second and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Nobody ever has to concentrate for more than 1 second at a time, says Alan Watts. Charlene, a very good morning to you. It is good to see you. So we're having a bit of fun today with our meditation. It's called Focus, and it is only this. We'll give our minds a big circle of things to focus on, and it It can ruminate anywhere in that circle and will make that circle smaller and smaller and smaller until it becomes harder to focus on just this tiny little thing. Very good exercise for our brains. If you're ready, here we go. You can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. Big breath in. And out. One more deep breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, feel yourself grow from that place. From your core, expanding outwards in all directions. And once you have a belly full of air, let it all go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. While you continue your own full body breathing, I want you to bring your attention to this body. Really feel the rise of your inhale and really feel into the collapse, the fall in your exhale. The theme today really is our brain, and specifically focus. But I'd like to include our whole body in a moment of gratitude. It's so easy to become stuck in the things about ourselves that we feel are not working well. And this topic of focus could be one. I could be frustrated with my lack of focus. And I could become caught up in a battle with my brain, blaming my brain for not working as well as I want it to. And we often get caught in this war with something in our bodies that is not working the way we think it should be. I really want you to soften into gratitude for your body. For every part of your body that has brought you to this place here today. It has carried you, it has held you, it has supported you. Especially your heart, which has been fighting for every breath you take, forever. Can you for this moment have nothing but gratitude for your amazing body? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you can tilt your head towards the left while you tilt your hips towards the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. And of course, changing sides. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, as much as we are able to at least, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll do the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel how softness slowly settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling, feel your body slowly softening, and feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, Prepare your brain for a game. Approach this as a little bit of fun. Take your next big breath. We're starting this game by creating a huge big picture. I want you to imagine a pine tree, a rather large pine tree. We're sitting in a circle around this pine tree. Behind us is a bit of a landscape. There's mountains in the distance, more forest and trees to be seen, a farmhouse and a barn even, and however else your mind wants to fill in this picture. We're starting with this big picture, and then we'll make the circle of focus smaller and smaller and smaller. We're asking our mind to follow in this shrinking of the circle of focus, allowing our minds to wander only within the given circle. Your job is not really to prevent your mind from wandering, but to become aware of when it does and simply return. Right now, the circle is big. Your mind is allowed to wander anywhere in this image, from the pine tree all the way to the mountains. However, if your mind wanders anywhere else, simply bring it back to this image, the pine tree, the circle of us, all the way to the mountains. Take your next big breath. Then we'll make the circle slightly smaller. And we'll just exclude the mountains in the distance. Our picture is the pine tree, the circle of us around the pine tree, the other trees around us, all the way to the farmhouse and the barn. Your mind is allowed to wander anywhere in this picture, and your job is to become aware of when your mind wanders to anything else. Then simply return it to this image and anywhere on it. Take your next big breath. Making the circle slightly smaller, our picture looks like the pine tree, the circle of us around it, and the other trees around us. Allow your mind to wander anywhere in this picture and become aware of when your mind wanders to anything else, and just return it again to this image. Take your next big breath. Making the circle of focus smaller. Right now, the image is the pine tree with our circle sitting around it. So from now on, it is only the pine tree and perhaps the grass that grows underneath it, or the soil underneath it. And when your mind wanders to anything beyond that, just gently bring it back to this picture. Take your next big breath. And we'll make the circle smaller, and now it's only the pine tree. Nothing around it. And whenever your mind wanders to anything but this pine tree, then gently return it to this picture. Take your next big breath. Make the focus of the next step the bark of this pine tree. And while you explore the bark of this pine tree, see what you're able to find living there within the cracks of this tree. Take your next big breath. Then find a branch that splits off of the trunk of this tree, and look along the length of this branch to all of its side branches and twigs. And then notice the pine needles at the ends, the tips of each branch and twig. Pine needles in clumps together. And whenever your mind thinks of anything else, bring it back here. Take your next big breath. And now find one singular pine needle and focus on only that. And if your mind tries to do anything else, gently just bring it back to focusing on this one singular pine needle. Take your next big breath. We'll do the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, Invite softness to settle in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. When you go to the gym and you lift weights, it's fairly easy to recognize what the reps are. Pick up the weights 10 times with my left hand, 10 reps with my right hand, and move on to the next exercise perhaps. But we realize that we've got to do the repetitions. Multiple different exercises, pick up the weights, put them down. We're not expecting a real result today or tomorrow or even next month. But we know we need to do the reps in order to get to results eventually. For meditation, it's not that different. The reps for our brain, for our mind, are exactly what is demonstrated in today's exercise. It is natural that your mind will wander. It's not wrong, it's natural. But we are exercising this muscle of focus, which makes us better over time. And the reps are becoming aware that your mind is wandering and simply returning it back to what we are focused on. That's rep number 1. And the expectation should be that, just like going to the gym and doing many reps in one session, that you'd have to do many reps in a meditation session too. You're not doing it wrong if your mind is wandering. But that is an opportunity for the workout, for doing the reps. Apply this at any other point in your day when you're busy and need to be focused. When your mind wanders, it's not doing a wrong thing. It's just the opportunity for you to do the right thing. Catch your mind wandering and return it to the task at hand. Again and again and again. We do get better at this, but we should never expect our brain to be less than human. We should be surrendered to submitting to the practice again and again and again. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this beautiful brain and body. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the opportunity to work out my focus muscle. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having acceptance that I will be human. And while I do get better at this, I should never expect myself, my brain and my body to work like a machine. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to have fun, even while paying attention to the serious stuff. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on board with our game today. Good morning, Maggie. It's so good to see you. Good morning, Quentin. Hello. Thank you, Leshna. Thank you, Sunray. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Pat. Wishing you an awesome day. Make friends with your brain and your body as much as you can. Try not to be ever involved in a battle with what you think should be better. If you have real love and real appreciation for the tools you were given, then it already works better. Have an awesome day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.